Hi, my name is Gerhard, and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today, we have the great pleasure of meeting with Stephen McGarvey, and he is the author of a very exciting book, which is all about igniting the shift.
It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
I love the play on words because igniting is something that you need to send a rocket to the moon, and a shift is something that you need to do in order to avoid being rigid and being history. That's a very clever play on words. What got you excited and inspired to write this book?
Well, it's interesting, Gerhard. I failed grade 2. They told me I was learning disabled. I had dyslexia, and my worst fear was reading out loud in class. And the last thing I ever dreamt I would ever do was write a book. And we have worked hard over the last 20 years to build up a unique brand within the pharma and biotech industry. We've worked in other industries, but word of mouth keeps us busy there. And our clients kept saying, you should write a book. You should write a book. When are you going to write a book? And after enough of that, I thought, okay, I'll write a book and just self-publish it and just give it to our clients. And then we got picked up by Morgan James Publishing out of the US. And then we hit the #1 Wall Street Journal bestseller and USA Today bestseller list. So it's not something I would have ever imagined, but I'm very proud of the project, and it took an entire team to pull it together.
So when you started to write the book, what did you imagine that will happen in the reader's mind after they read the book?
One of the things I wanted to do was take them on a journey of shifting their mind throughout each chapter of the book. So it was more about what would happen as they read each chapter that would draw them into the next chapter. And so at the end of each chapter, we've got an exercise to challenge their thinking, to get them to step outside of the box and to go and apply the knowledge. Because I think, as I'm sure you well know, there's one thing to acquire the information, the knowledge, and it's a very different thing to hold yourself accountable for applying it.
Obviously, you pay a lot of attention to your own development, the development of your mind, and behind your right shoulder, you have a guitar. So tell us why you have a guitar in your office.
So I decided that I was going to take up guitar to stretch my brain in a new direction. And so I tell people it's less about the guitar lessons, it's more about music therapy. It puts my brain in a completely different place. It challenges me to have grit and a growth mindset. It can be frustrating as an adult to learn a very new thing like that. And so it really puts me in a different space mentally. And I like the challenge of pushing through and having that perseverance through the frustration.
Why is it so important for people to pay attention to growing their mindset?
As we age, we can get comfortable in our zone. And I think if I'd stayed comfortable in any of the zones I was in, I would never have written a book and wouldn't be doing what I do for a living. So I believe at any age, it's critical to challenge our mindset, to have that growth mindset, and to embrace learning and change, and that whole process of putting effort in, knowing that there's a bigger reward at the end of it. I honestly believe that until we push out of our comfort zone, we never know what we're truly competent or capable of. And I think we're so much more capable of doing things than we give ourselves credit for. So I think the first step is being willing to, in fact, I still remember, in grade school, hating school, but loving learning. And as an adult, I learned to embrace that discomfort, knowing that there was reward on the other side, that if I pushed myself through, if I pushed myself out, if I was willing to embrace the discomfort, that there was an exponential reward on the other side, including writing this book. It caused me a lot of discomfort going through the process and triggered a lot of things for me as far as school and learning were concerned. But surrounding myself with the right people and having that perseverance and that determination, it's well worth it.
So tell me about the marketing for your book. How do you get on the Wall Street Journal bestseller list?
What I discovered through this journey is that there are companies that specialize in pre-launch marketing campaigns. And so there's very specific ways of hiring these companies in order to do pre-launch marketing so that you sell pre-orders and e-copies of the book prior to the book actually being launched in hard copy, or actual book version in bookstores. So it was again a journey of learning. I didn't dream we'd ever get to this stage, and I'm very grateful to have been fortunate enough to surround myself with the right people to make it happen.
It was really a pleasure to exchange ideas with you. I find your book fascinating, and I find the way you think about thinking and the way you think about your mindset very original, and I highly recommend that people go to Amazon.com and get your book.
Great, Gerhard. You know what I'm going to do is a thank you for having me on. I've really appreciated this. I'll send you a link to send out to your customer base or your clients for a free ebook.
I really appreciate your generosity and spending time with me, and I look forward to our next conversation.